Don't you laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you.
I've
I'm
never
laughing
gotten
with
one
you.
of these. I've never gotten one of these introductions straight off the bat. Hey, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Paul.
And I'm Patrick.
And welcome to the Get to Know the Hosts show.
And for some reason I lost my mic there.
Last time we did the movies that'll make you cry.
Movies that get us right in the weep button.
Right in the heart guts.
Things that pick up our inner child and smack them around a little bit. That's gone a bit far.
Yeah.
And this time we're doing what, Paul? A viewer suggestion. What was it?
Yeah, we got a viewer suggestion of movies that as a kid we rewatched consistently.
Yeah, so I think the thesis is, what did you just watch over and over again as a kid? What were those films that someone was always shouting, seriously, you've watched that 50 times, why are you watching it again?
Yeah.
And I heard that an awful lot, so I've got quite a few.
So, Patrick, would you like to start us off?
Okay, would you mind if I went relatively obscure? Because some people are going to know this film and some people are not going to know this film.
Is it going to be...
Oh, you're going to try and guess.
It's not going to be anything. It might
just throw
be.
a guess out there, just in case it's right.
No,
This is going to be lottery brilliant if it was.
I don't know. Thumbelina? I don't know.
It says a lot about what you think of me. I'm glad that you feel that would have been something. No, it was in the vein of Airplane and Hot Shots and all of those films. There is one lesser known film, and it's not Top Secret. I know a lot of people are going, he's going to say Top Secret. Top Secret was great. But I watched over and over again a film called The Big Bus, which was a parody of the parody disaster movies. There was Airport 76 and all that started the person flying the plane is incapacitated and a passenger has to take over. All those films.
Yeah.
And the Runaway Train and all that kind of stuff.
Unstoppable, yes.
That sort of jazz. So when those films were all the rage and Airplane was then made to take the mick out of some of them, somebody else thought, you don't want to be even more Mel Brooksian. Let's make something called The Big Bus, which was a gigantic nuclear-powered bus.
I do know this.
Yes, he knows it.
I was just like, wait a minute, this is sounding slightly familiar. And then you were like, nuclear-powered. And I was like, oh, I do know this bus.
I am not going to talk at length about it, but to set the table for everybody out there on The Big Bus and why you should watch it if you ever get a chance. It has, Lady from Greece. I've seen her live on stage and her name has left me. She's brilliant. You're remembering The Big Bus now.
I'm just remembering that it's a nuclear-powered jet, propulsion bus that it goes from like New York to Vegas.
Yeah, it's going to try and compete with airplanes and with trans-American travel. So it's going to beat rail and it's going to beat everything. It has the most convoluted and silly plot of all the characters in this whole thing have their own backstory, like the driver that has to take over. He's got a dark past where, a bus crashed on him and a spoiler warning.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to turn to cannibalism along with some others to survive. So it was that a la the Argentinian rugby team thing.
Oh,
they did a play on that where he's like, I only ate a foot.
What was it called, like Alive or something like that?
But this was like back when that would have been in the news.
Yeah.
So
Eat one lousy foot, they call you a cannibal. What a world.
yeah, long story short, it is one part Italian Job, it is one part Airplane, it is one part insane.
Is it like also one part Murder on the Orient Express as well?
Absolutely it is, Paul.
Like,
you know what it is? It's everything to everyone. And that's why you can watch it for an entire summer. And when I say watch it for an entire summer, I mean VHS recording of it on every morning, every single morning for an entire summer holiday. I would get up because I used to get up before everybody else. I would put it on and watch it. The way some people would get up in the morning and have a shower, I would get up and watch The Big Bus.
just bathed in the knocking shit around.
I can't wait till they get to this bit again. I loved it, and I have no good reason to love it.
Well,
it was just great.
You've now made me really want to rewatch that, because I remember watching it and going, "This is." And I didn't even watch it when I was a kid. I watched it when I was like in my 20s, and I was like, "What the shit is this?"
It's kid friendly too. That's the other thing. It's a more accessible version of Blazing Saddles in some ways. It's just great
in some ways.
in lots of ways. So hit me with one.
I'm gonna say, well, for my first one, I'm gonna say The Page Master, even though it's not that long of a movie.
Oh, tell me, what is
The
it?
Page Master? It's Macaulay Culkin.
Oh,
He goes to like a library because
I
he's
know
being
this
chased by
film.
bullies, and
I
then he
know
gets
this So-
met by Christopher. Who's the
Christopher Lee Dracula, Christopher Walken.
no the
guys.
no the Doc Brown,
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
He was going to be my third Chris.
He's the librarian, and he gives him a library card, and he goes like, "Yeah, go find a book." And then he goes into Macaulay Culkin goes into like the center of the
library.
he goes
or
to the library, and he like slips, and he looks up and he sees like this big thing, and then he like walks into the thing and slips and hits his head and stuff, and he gets
magically
painting,
transported to the world of the book.
Yeah, the library, which is all
That's
like
awesome.
it's got like, you know, yeah, he finds Adventure, which is like a pirate book. He's all like scrappy and stuff like that. And
Thing is, I know I haven't seen it, but I know it, if you know what I mean.
like which goes Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd. It's got what's her name?
We don't prepare before these things. We've told you that before.
Whoopi Goldberg is
brilliant.
voices fantasy.
Whoopi back in the day too. This would have
Yeah.
been like, are we talking? So
it's
Macaulay Culkin
90s.
is late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
because he's still cute.
Oh
Culkin.
yeah,
He's not
He's a small kid, like.
right.
Yeah, it's see, the reason I'm not really including it is because it's also like an hour and like 10 minutes long. But I used to watch it over and over and over
Movies
again.
used to be that though. Like you could watch an hour and 20 minutes and be like, that was a good movie. You would never be like, that was an extra long TV episode, which is what it is now.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. But yeah, no, I remember that film. Like, the horror parts scared the shit out of me. You had Dr. Jekyll
Ooh.
and Mr. Hyde and stuff like that.
Great.
And like you'd just like, the horror part was terrifying.
That's
Kind of
awesome.
thing. But then there's also a song in the middle of it as well with
I'm going to have to
fairies.
check this out. It's going to be fun for everybody out there. I hope that at least one of those two first choices resonates with some of you. I think I might be aging myself out with some of my suggestions because they are going to lean slightly older because it's when I was a kid. But having said that, a lot of people, like you saw The Big Bus, a lot of people find kids movies or movies that we all watched a lot as kids much, much later in life. I know I didn't see, I can't remember what the hell it was, that classic. Somebody told me about a classic and I only saw it for the first time last year and I was like, oh yeah, that was really good. One of the animated movies. I can't remember which it was now. Everybody's seen it, but I hadn't. I'm going to throw in another one that is quite old, but I know even more people have seen because it lasted a long time. And it's Burt Reynolds at his finest, and it is not Smokey and the Bandit. Although I have seen all of the Smokey and the Bandits, we're into the 1,000 times.
Yeah.
If you combine watches for all three films. And there was a third one, and no, Burt Reynolds wasn't actually in it.
You and your Smokey and the Bandit.
I know, but it's Cannonball Run that I'm choosing. Cannonball Run was a Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Sammy Davis Jr., Roger Moore. It was an ensemble movie centered around Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, based on an actual real event where a racing car driver and a journalist got together to go wonder how quickly we can drive from one end of America to the other.
Yeah.
A lot of rich people, I was about to be rude about them, do crap like this now in their Gumball 3000s and I'm partying all night and driving all day drunk like like idiots. I didn't say anything else.
I don't know why you keep trying to... So Patrick's trying to not swear where I just don't care.
Well, I'm hoping Jesus will still be my friend someday. If you're out there, Jesus, give us a subscribe, will
The
you?
only thing I want Jesus to do is to figure out how to make water into, like, beer.
No, you want him to like, share and subscribe. I feel like I should have a little YouTube ching. Anyway, Cannonball Run. The reason you can watch it over and over and over and over again is because it had a Lamborghini in it at the start. It had the greatest music for the time. Such a distillation of the 80s with just, little chinky guitar and that real power ballady rock thing. And it had, and I hate to say this, folks, because I was of the right age when I was still watching it, it had... ladies in tight lycra driving the Lamborghini at one point, and Burt Reynolds being quite the misogynist with quite the mustache, and it was a different time and I wanted to be him. Now I want to be a better him. That's all I'm saying. I know what is wrong with that movie, but my God, there's so much that's right too.
I've seen Big Bus. I have not, and you were just like, no one's going to really know this, and then you're
You
like,
haven't
oh,
seen
Cannonball
Cannonball
Run. More people are going to be accessing this, and I'm like, I've never watched that film. I've heard of the film, I've never watched it though.
It's well worth a watch.
Okay.
Oh, Jackie Chan's first film, also
First Western film?
first Western film. Also, the director Hal Needham, who was a stuntman, he got the idea to do post credits, outtakes, and it was the first time a Western film had done that because he got the idea from Jackie Chan.
Oh,
There you go.
a little bit of trivia.
We're very close.
Because if I had enough time, I would take those rosary bleeds and stuff them up your nose.
These bleeds?
Those bleeds, yeah.
You're gonna take these and shove them up?
I'd take these bleeds here.
One last thing I want to get out there about Cannonball Run before we move on to your next choice.
Okay.
When I mentioned that there were lycra-clad women, etc. in it, that wasn't why I was watching the film. And anybody who knows me knows I'm nuts about cars, and there's a small part of me that might blame that film, and particularly might blame the Lamborghini that opens up that film. If you watch just the opening credits at the right age, you're going to fall in love with cars. It's just incredible. And it has such a selection of amazing cars in it. But trust me, and I'll put a link in the description down below to the intro. Watch it and you'll be like, I get it, how a kid that sees that will be like, wow,
Did
cool.
it have the suicide doors or anything like that?
Well,
Like
full
that-
Lamborghini doors, like proper.
Suicide doors or the wing goal? The goal.
No, there's a Mercedes later in it that I'm about to get car nerdy. There is a Gullwing Mercedes later on in it. But this is Lamborghini doors, straight up. Yeah.
It's the suicide doors, aren't they?
Suicide doors are ones that actually open backwards, and I was trying to hold in my car nerd when you said
what's
it. I'm
the-
like,
what's a wing?
you're in public.
What's the other ones?
They're actually just referred to as Lamborghini doors.
That's the official term.
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's also Koenigsegg do a version of it that's called dodecahedral semi-helix doors that do something. I know that. Let's get off cars because I'm too big a nerd.
Okay.
And Paul, what would your other guilty? Well, not guilty pleasure. What was the other thing that was on
Guilty
repeat?
pleasure. Fern Gully.
Fern Gully. Oh, okay, nice.
This is the movie about a lumberjack guy who gets shrunk and finds the world of fairies and stuff like that, and his friends by actually like cut down this tree that has like a weird pollution like spirit in it.
See, I haven't seen it, but I know you'd mentioned it before. So
Yeah, it's voiced. The pollution guy is voiced by Tim Curry.
Tim
And like
Curry's
he's like
always
a big like smoky, oily kind of thing, and he takes over. Like they have this machine. So the guys are just marking trees,
okay, yeah.
and for this massive machine that like goes along and just like rips them out of the ground, and then like tears or like cuts up the wood and stuff. So it tears this thing out, and then the Tim Curry's character gets like control of the big eating machine that starts destroying Fern Gully, the forest and stuff, and the lumberjack guy who's like been shrunk has to try to help the fairies
Evil
save him
dude
and
doing
stuff.
bad stuff.
Yeah.
And main character gets together with unexpected, didn't know they existed creatures.
Yeah.
Classic.
Watch
classic.
it over there.
Let me guess.
Robin Williams is in it as
Somewhere
well.
between 82 and 88 that was made.
Oh, I can't
Robin
believe
Williams is in it too.
Robin Williams is in it, and he plays a bat that has been experimented on. He's got
I
like
can
this
see how
weird.
Robin Williams would play that all right.
He's got like this weird like antenna thing that like keeps randomly picking up random like radio and TV shows. So like the bat will be flying talking to him, and now every now and again he'll be just like, get this coupon and like, you know.
I gotta
very
be
much-
honest with you. You were describing the film, and I'm like, yeah, I'll see it at some stage. But then you just went, Robin Williams plays a bat that was experimented on, and my brain went, you're probably watching that this weekend for sure. Yeah, you might watch it tonight.
Yeah, I used to watch it over and over again and stuff. Like there's like beetles that they ride as like motorcycles. There's a dickhead fairy, of course. And then also probably one of the like, you know, first crushes I ever had, which was like the fairy in that movie.
Animated creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, the animated creature crush. It's a very weird one. But
It is a weird one because later on you think you're just
everybody
like
had it.
you're just looking at it going like how, and then you go, oh, it was when you just
Yeah, simpler times. Simpler times. Yeah, but watch this. Everybody in the world that had a crush on an animated creature or character of some sort, put your hand in the air right now.
Oh, comment down below the character as well. Down below, yeah.
That's
Comment,
good.
So comment the character down below that you had, like, you know, the animation crush on. Because I'm going to say Lola Bunny probably was one, and if you're at a certain age, probably Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah. Although Kathleen Turner's voice could make, at the time, she could have made a rock attractive, I think.
Yeah, there's a mouse as well. I think people also have a tendency to.
Oh, okay. I know there was the Cadbury's caramel bunny lady. She was a TV ad, and I remember all the newspapers was like, "Is this voice too sexy for TV?" At which point, as a child, I was like, "God, newspapers aren't very good, are they? This is terrible." I'm gonna pull it back around a little bit ahead of that, because I'm starting to realize I'm maybe a little bit odd or a little bit dark. My selection so far has been, what was it, Cannonball Run, Big Bus,
Yeah.
and then the one to kind of finish it out for me, Rambo. But actually, I just knew it as First Blood because there was no Rambo 2.
What age did you watch this?
I should not have been watching it when I was watching it.
Okay.
But
I'm saying, because it's kids' movies that you used to watch over and
no,
over.
it's kids you used to watch over, and it's movies you used to watch over and again as a kid, not necessarily kids' movies. My parents did a great job. If you ever see any of this, I don't blame you. I couldn't be supervised at all times. But my brother, I blame you, because I watch a lot of stuff I really shouldn't have. I remember seeing RoboCop at an age that was not appropriate for me either.
I saw Independence Day at an inappropriate age as well, I think. And what else? I think I saw Brain Dead.
I saw Salem's Lot as a child in the dark, and it scarred me for life, and I still have not watched it since.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that, and I really want to watch that with you now.
And we're gonna have, probably as a Halloween special, we might actually do a watch of that and see if I melt down. But First Blood, I'm very, very grateful because Sylvester Stallone was, Rocky and Rambo to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. To me, First Blood is it's an incredible movie still to this day. It's well made, well told, and it's not, I keep arguing with people, it's not a Rambo film, it's First Blood. There's a different story. But because of its emotional ending, I watched it over and over again. Again, this summer that we managed to get a VHS copy of it, because my cousins had a VHS player before us, and they gave us the copy they had of it. It was like a gift, and I'm like, wow, I have an actual cassette, with a sticker on it that I haven't written in crayon practically. But it's such a heavy, heavy film in the end. I think I used it as a way to just be emotional as a child, because you really, when he's talking about the horror of war.
Oh yeah, and to that Colonel guy, yeah.
It's heavy, and every time still, like as an adult, I watch it and I'm still right there with the big swollen heart and the lump in my throat. And I don't know why I did that to myself. I think I was an age where I was trying to force emotions any chance I got, and that film definitely did it. Of course, I'd probably watch Cannonball Run right after it to feel much better and be like, God, Lamborghinis are cool. I want a black one. I want a black Lamborghini. It's shiny in the sun. But then also, I don't ever want to go to Vietnam. So yeah, complicated childhood.
I don't think any of us want to go to Vietnam as the war. Yeah. No, Vietnam is probably a lovely place now.
Oh, I'm sure it's very nice. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Vietnam Tourist Board, please don't, hate on me. So give us another one, Paul, to close it out, because I'm all spent.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. I have a couple more, but what I'll do is I'll do one in detail.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine. There's Camp Nowhere with Christopher Lloyd.
Haven't seen it. What's the elevator pitch on that one?
It's actually a bunch of kids are going to summer camp, and they figure out how to essentially make a bus driver, I think he is, to be the camp director, so that the kids can just make their own camp and essentially have a couple of weeks in the summer just to do what the hell they want.
Very cool.
And Christopher Lloyd just goes, yeah, fine. And every now and again, a official comes over and they're just like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, the camp. There is, what's good, Richie Rich.
Oh, yeah. Another Macaulay Culkin. I was about to call him a McCulkin film.
Yeah.
There's obviously, and I have not mentioned them, but there's the ones that go without saying, which is Goonies, Ghostbusters, and Gremlins. The 3 Gs.
I wasn't going to say, because I was going to say, which was Mighty Ducks, the first one.
I've never seen it. I really have to get around to seeing it.
It's a great film. And then there was another one that was on my brain that I've now completely forgot.
Oh, my fault.
Casper.
Oh, Casper, the
They're the
original
other ones.
Christina Ricci Casper. You know, that film had an awful lot of charm.
There, yeah, except for one like slight creepiness of Casper constantly going around going, "Hey, can I keep you?" Which is like it's hilarious, and like because it's like, oh, he's slightly in love with your woman, and but he's a ghost and he's dead, and
But
then,
he's also an adolescent, all right? Like
Yeah, but
he's
it's
not
not-
supposed to understand social norms or conventions.
well, he's
And
also
he's a
from
ghost.
he's also from like the
Yeah, what?
he's from, like,
1800s or something, or
yeah,
1700s.
like-
yeah.
so like yeah, but it is creepy that constantly he's just like, "Can I keep you?" And you're just like, ugh. But yeah, that's
Wouldn't
my
play so well today. I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
yeah, that's got a Ghostbuster in it as well. It's got Dan Aykroyd.
Ah, God, you can't go wrong with Dan.
You know,
You can't go wrong with any of the
Well,
crew.
he runs in and he runs out of the place and he's just like, "Who you gonna call?" Someone else, and he runs off.
Forget, say I didn't remember that. Oh, also honourable mention to Clue, which we haven't got time to go
Tim
into.
Curry.
Yeah,
man.
another. Yeah,
Which is your
exactly.
favorite? Which is your favorite ending? The brother doing it.
We want to hear from you again on this.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts down below. Let us know what you watched over and over again as a kid.
Dumbo. I did Dumbo as well.
We could go on all night. So I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
We've been here aside. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You say it too.
Like, share, and subscribe. Oh, I fucked it up.
Thanks for watching. See you next time. Yeah, God, there's so many. When you start thinking about it, there's so many more that could come in.
Yeah, Event Horizon.